Can you picture a world in which all of your decisions and actions are predetermined? How much control do you believe you have over your thoughts and emotions? Do we truly have free will, or are our actions and choices predetermined by external factors and influences? The concept of free will is a complex and debated topic in philosophy and psychology. What do we mean by free will? From a philosophical perspective, the concept of free will revolves around the idea that we have the ability to make choices and decisions that are not determined by external factors. It suggests that we have the power to act according to our own desires and beliefs, rather than being controlled entirely by factors like genetics, upbringing, or environment. There are different philosophical views on free will. Determinism is the idea that everything that happens, including our actions, is determined by previous causes. According to determinism, if we had complete knowledge of all the influencing factors, we could predict exactly what choices someone would make. Compatibilism, on the other hand, argues that free will can exist even within a deterministic framework. It suggests that our freedom lies in our ability to act in line with our own desires and values, regardless of whether those desires and values are influenced by external factors. Incompatibilism takes a different stance and asserts that free will and determinism are fundamentally incompatible. It argues that if our actions are determined by external factors, then we cannot truly have free will, because we would not have the ability to have acted differently. The famous Greek philosopher Aristotle believed in the existence of free will and considered it to be an essential aspect of human agency. He argued that individuals possess the ability to make choices based on their rationality and moral deliberation. The German philosopher Nietzsche, on the other hand, had a more complex view on free will. He questioned the traditional notions of free will and argued that our actions are deeply influenced by unconscious drives, instincts, and social conditioning. Nietzsche was critical of the idea that individuals have complete control over their thoughts and actions. He believed that many of our decisions are shaped by hidden motives and subconscious forces, making true freedom an illusion. However, Nietzsche also emphasized the importance of self-awareness and self-mastery, suggesting that by understanding and embracing our inner drives, we can exert a certain level of control and create our own values. Philosophers continue to explore questions about the nature of free will, the limits of determinism, and the implications for moral responsibility. While there are no conclusive answers, these discussions contribute to our understanding of human agency and the choices we make. From a scientific perspective, the concept of free will is explored through the study of the brain and its processes. Scientists use various methods to investigate how our decisions and actions are generated. Research has shown that our brain is responsible for processing information and making choices. Different regions of the brain communicate with each other to carry out these processes. For example, the prefrontal cortex, a part of the brain involved in decision-making, helps us evaluate options and make conscious choices. Scientists use techniques like functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to observe brain activity during decision-making tasks. These studies have revealed that certain patterns of brain activation are associated with specific choices. However, they have not provided a conclusive understanding of whether our choices are truly free or determined by other factors. Scientists also recognize that our decisions and actions can be influenced by external factors such as our environment, social interactions, and genetic makeup. These factors can shape our preferences, values, and behaviors, which may impact the choices we make. While scientific studies offer valuable insights into the neural processes underlying decision-making, they do not provide a definitive answer to the question of free will. The scientific view acknowledges the complexity of human behavior and the interplay between biological and environmental factors. Scientists continue to explore the mechanisms of decision-making and the extent to which our choices are influenced by external factors or determined by internal processes. The debate on free will is ongoing and complex. Neuroscientific studies can provide insights into the brain processes involved in decision-making, but they do not provide a definitive answer to the question of free will. Philosophers continue to explore the nature of free will, the limits of determinism, and the implications for moral responsibility. Ultimately, the concept of free will is a deeply philosophical and subjective matter that has captivated scholars and thinkers for centuries. and it continues to be a topic of exploration and debate in both scientific and philosophical communities. Regardless of the ongoing scientific debate on free will, it is important to emphasize the significance of taking responsibility for our choices. Whether our actions are influenced by external factors or determined by internal processes, embracing personal responsibility empowers us to have a sense of control over our lives. By acknowledging that we have the ability to make conscious decisions and being accountable for the consequences, we can shape our lives in a more intentional and meaningful way. Taking responsibility encourages self-reflection, learning from mistakes, and striving for personal growth.